Georgia's civil rights movement has a long and tumultuous past. Many obstacles were put in the paths of those who sought equality, but many important milestones were also achieved, some very recently. We will discuss many of the people who fought for the rights of minorities and those who stood in the way, as well as important events from within the movement. The 1940s marked the beginning of the modern-day civil rights movement. The U.S. economy of the Great Depression was boosted significantly by World War II. This caused an influx in industry, and more people began entering the workforce, including black men and women. However, they encountered racism and segregation at every turn. Meanwhile, black soldiers served alongside white soldiers in the U.S. military and were given greater rights than they had known previously. They were treated the same as their fellow soldiers who were white. Once they arrived back home and were treated as inferior once more, they began to fight back through preachings and demonstrations, as well as legal actions such as Brown versus the Board of Education. This was the beginning of the mid-20th century civil rights movement. The movement was led by many influential people. One such person was Benjamin E. Mays. He was born in 1894 in North Carolina to former slaves. When he was a child, he saw a white mob threaten his father. This influenced him to fight against inequality when he grew up. He went to college, which was rare for a black person to do at the time, and he eventually earned his doctorate in religion at the University of Chicago. He became a pastor and a teacher and ultimately the president of Morehouse College, a historically black college in Atlanta, Georgia. Before he took over as president, the school had suffered from poor leadership and was almost destitute. Under his direction, the school thrived. In addition to running the school, he also published many important works about Christianity and race relations. He taught his students about the dignity and value inherent in each individual person, regardless of color, and encouraged people to pursue equality through peaceful means. After he retired from Morehouse College, he became the president of the Atlanta Public Schools Board of Education, where he oversaw the successful desegregation of Atlanta schools. One of Benjamin May's students at Morehouse College was none other than Martin Luther King Jr. King developed a close relationship with Mays and looked up to him as a mentor. He learned many valuable lessons from him that greatly influenced his career as a civil rights activist. The two remained close until King's death in 1968. Mays even delivered the eulogy at his funeral. While many people led the fight for equality, others attempted to thwart the movement. One such man was Herman Talmadge, who served as governor in the 40s and 50s. He took over from his father in what is now called the Three Governors Controversy. Eugene Talmadge, his father, became deathly ill before he could be sworn in, but after he was elected. In such instances, the position would generally go to the person who was the runner-up during the election. However, Talmadge Sr. ran unopposed. His supporters, however, had a plan. They weren't sure how long the elder Talmadge would have his help, so during the election they secretly arranged write-ins for his son Herman, who was successfully running his dad's campaign. That way, if Talmadge Sr. died before being sworn in, the man who came in second place, his son, would become governor, and no one would be able to stop them because no one would know that Talmadge Jr. had been written in before it was too late. Gene Talmadge did indeed die shortly thereafter, and his son took office in his place. The lieutenant governor-elect, Melvin E. Thompson, however, felt that he should legally be sworn in as governor. To further complicate matters, Ellis Arnall, the outgoing governor, maintained that he should remain governor until someone was properly sworn in. In the end, the Supreme Court had to rule on the matter. They ruled Thompson to be the governor. It didn't make much difference, though, because in the next election, Talmadge overwhelmingly defeated Thompson and governed Georgia for 3 terms. But while he led many progressive policies, his time as governor was marred by a staunch opposition to equal rights and desegregation. Many aspects of the state's turbulent past lingers on today. In 1956, a new Georgia flag was approved by the state government that integrated much of the Confederate flag into the state flag. The flag was only changed in 2003 amid much protest from both sides. Still, a lot of headway has been made in the past 70 years, and the work continues on.